All right, let's dive into one of the most important skills for any Level 6 marketing apprentice, skill S11, which is all about evaluation. And to really get our heads around it, we're going to follow the story of an apprentice, Jody, as she goes from being totally confused by it to absolutely nailing her final assessment.
So meet Jody. She's a super smart marketing manager apprentice over at IBIS stores. But right now she's staring at her official apprenticeship standard and she's just stuck. All this jargon about KPIs and ROI, it just feels a million miles away from her actual day job. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, so let's break this thing down. Forget the jargon for a second. Skill S11 really just means you need to become a data detective. It's not about just listing off numbers in a report, it's about finding the story behind the numbers. It's about using that story to make smart decisions that move the business forward, instead of, just guessing and hoping for the best.
To really get this, Jody needs to start with the why. Why does this skill even matter? So she sits down with her manager, Riddle. Now, Riddle's job is to make sure every single pound IBS stores spends on marketing is working hard. And she's about to show Jody that this isn't just about ticking a box for an assessment, it's about becoming a real marketing leader. Riddle puts it really simply. She says, look, without evaluation, marketing is just busy work. We're just spinning our wheels. But with proper evaluation, suddenly marketing becomes a powerful, strategic part of the business. It's how you prove your worth. It's how you justify asking for a bigger budget. And it's how you get senior leaders to sit up and listen, because you're speaking their language, the language of result.
And this is where Riddle makes a really crucial point. She tells Jody to stop being so obsessed with vanity metrics. You know what I'm talking about. The stuff that looks great in a report, like a ton of likes or new followers, but doesn't actually pay the bills. The real focus has to be on meaningful KPIs, key performance indicators that are tied directly to business results. Things like how much it costs to get a new customer, and the big one, return on marketing investment. Basically, for every dollar we put in, how many are we getting back?
Riddle finishes with this brilliant analogy. She says, you can be frantically busy. You can have the best team in the world, but if you don't have a compass, you're just drifting. You're lost. Well, evaluation, that's marketing's compass. It's what makes sure all that hard work is actually taking the business where it needs to go. Okay, so the light bulb has totally gone off for Jody. She gets the why. But now what? She needs the how. So for this, she connects with her mentor, Adam. He's a data whiz, and he's gonna roll up his sleeves and show her how this all works in the real world, using a real campaign from IBIS stores.
Adam doesn't overcomplicate it. He breaks the whole thing down into 4 simple steps. Number 1, always start with the business objective. What are we actually trying to achieve here? 2, pick the right KPIs that will actually measure that goal. 3, pull in data from everywhere, not just one place, to see the whole picture. And finally, number 4, use that analysis to build a clear recommendation. Tell them what the data says we should do next.
Adam throws her right into the deep end. He pulls up a dashboard for a social media campaign. On the surface, it looks amazing. Likes are through the roof, comments are flying in, but then he opens up the sales data for the same period, and it is completely flat. The data is screaming at them. There's a huge disconnect between all this online buzz and anyone actually buying anything. So Jody has done the analysis, she's figured out the problem, and she's recommended a new approach. She gets the why, she gets the how, but now comes the final hurdle for her apprenticeship. She has to prove she can do it. So she meets with her coach, Olivia, to figure out how to turn this work into killer evidence for her APTM portfolio. Olivia explains that the evidence isn't just one single document. It's about building a case file that tells the whole story of your thinking. It could be a dashboard you built, a report analyzing the return on investment, or even just a personal reflection explaining why you made the decisions you did. The absolute key, she says, is to show your thought process. So, Olivia starts with what not to do. This right here is weak evidence. And why is it weak? Because it's just a statement of fact. It's like saying the weather is sunny. Okay, so what? It shows zero analysis, zero insight, and zero decision-making. This is just reporting. It is not evaluation. Now compare that to this. This is strong evidence. Let's break it down. In just one sentence, it shows she evaluated the data, she came to a conclusion, and she made a strategic recommendation. Boom! That is exactly what assessors want to see. It's proof of real management-level thinking. Jody is feeling so much better about all this. She's got the skills, she's got the evidence. Now it's time to prep for the finish line, her endpoint assessment, or EPA.
Olivia helps her get ready by practicing some typical questions that are almost guaranteed to come up.
And here is a classic, a real favorite for assessors. What they're looking for here is a story. They want to know you haven't just memorized the textbook. They want to hear about a time you actually used data to change course and make a real difference to the business.
And this is how Jody knocks it out of the park. Just look at the structure. She starts with the problem. Then she explains her analysis, name-dropping different data sources like their CRM system. She clearly states the action she took, and then crucially, she states the positive result. It's concise, it's confident, and it is packed with proof that she has mastered skill S11.
So there you have it. We just saw Jody go from total confusion to total confidence. The path is pretty clear, right? First, understand the why, then learn the how, and finally, prove your impact. So I'll leave you with a question to take away. What's the first KPI you're going to challenge in your next campaign?